Back in the early 90s, I got my hands on this great gray brick of a system, the original Nintendo Game Boy. Now, this came from a time where technology was made to last. There weren't any flimsy handheld consoles breaking. There weren't any home consoles screwing up after 6 months release. No, when they made it to last. I always heard stories about Game Boys being like thrown off of roofs and surviving, or sitting out an entire winter in the snow, and then when spring came, they found the system and it still worked. Definitely not the case today. Now, I don't have too many memories about the original Game Boy and the games that were made for the original Game Boy being all that exceptional. I may have had games like Mega Man 4 on the Game Boy, or Monopoly, or silly things like that that weren't necessarily big games. They don't necessarily stick with me that long. But there was a couple that were pretty good, and I'll talk about them here. They're, of course, a Mario platforming game, and you can always depend on these types of games to be good. I'm talking about Mario Land 1 and Mario Land 2, the 6 golden coins. Now, Mario Land 1 was a little bit odd. It had a different sort of art style, sort of influenced by things like Easter Island, or maybe even the pyramids and ancient Egyptian culture, which is a different way for Mario art to take. But I also remember there were weird, like, flying levels, almost like a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up, which you might find in R-Type or Gradius, things like that. It was just an odd thing to see Mario in a submarine going up and down shooting all sorts of sea creatures, and then a giant octopus. Of course, giant octopus sticks with me. What's an octopus? 6 golden coins is a little bit closer to things like Super Mario World in its art and play style, though it was a little bit different because it was definitely smaller. I think there were 6 worlds you had to get golden coins from in order to fight the last boss, but there weren't necessarily many levels in each world. I think the space world only had a couple. Though I swear there were pigs in space, which is funny if you think about it and you're a Muppets fan. 6 golden coins was also the first time we ever saw Wario, who was the bad guy of that game, and an interesting character. I don't think Wario will ever be on those lists for the rest of the month, but he was a cool bad guy. Obviously, there were a lot of other good handheld games to come, but those come with other systems, so those come later on in the month. Stay tuned and you'll see what important handheld RPGs I have to talk about.